Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to Dutchman Watches Mahjong Soul. We got a couple of players lined up. I picked this group because I thought they had funny names. One of them had funny names, the rest of them are pretty normal names. But they're gonna be our champion. We're gonna ride that horse across that finish line. But also it's Halloween weekend. Is everyone excited? Some people probably already had their trick-or-treating done. Ours is going to be on Tuesday. Anyways, these are our players. Move on over to our dealer. Starting off with our dealer, we have Nihongo Jozu to the right. Acton 445. We'll just call them Acton. Our champion, Horse Games, across the way. I just think that's a very silly name. I guess it does have some sort of cultural precedent, though. Squid Games, not that long ago that it came out. Or Squid Games, the knockoff Steam game. Is Crab Games the real one? I actually don't know. I never saw either or played the other. And then lastly, Taka Segoya. We'll just call them Taka. Taka's a good name. Right, back to our dealer. Nihongo Jozu's got 1, 2, 3 blocks in a pair, all ready to go. Very good shapes as well, but someone's got better shapes. Taka has found Tenpai on the 5 of dots only. Tenpai as well for Tanya. They can win this hand if they so choose to, even without the Ricci. Acton to the right, not as fast as Taka, has 3 good blocks and a pawn they can break apart for a pair. So Acton, very good hand, very well played. Taka finds it double-sided and is now ready to go Ricci, even though they're Furitan on the 2 and 5. You fool! What have you done? Taka the Baka. I do not agree with that decision. This is not the level where you want to be playing games like that. Acton has found Ricci. Found Tenpai, gone for Ricci, waiting on the 3 and the 6, which they can roan people off of because they are not Furitan, as Taka is. There comes the 6, here comes the roan. Taka, you fool. You deserve everything you've gotten in that one. I like the idea. The idea was good, right? Waiting until you get a better weight. The execution was awful. You do not want to go for a Tenrichi in the gold leagues. Maybe the Masters, you can, get away with a stunt like that. The Ricci will apply enough pressure for someone to fold out and play 8. And then you just draw it yourself. But anyways, that was last hand. Acton has a couple of good blocks, some really good shapes. The red does nothing and it'll play straight into Horse Games' hand because they've got a pair of reds, eager to pawn that, get their Yakuhai. A couple of Doras if they can work it in, but their shapes are better without. Taka, the Baka, has a couple of good shapes, a couple of terminal weights, a Dora East, which they're desperately hanging on to, but they really should get rid of it as soon as possible because the longer you hold it, the more chances you give people to steal it. Horse Games passes on the red, a very strange decision. One that I do not agree with because they have lots of Dora in their hand. That would have been a great way to steal some points back and secure 2nd place before you get roamed into 4th. But maybe he'll prove me wrong. Nihongo Jozu has some good shapes coming together. Inside weight pair, a pair with a double-sided, and then a pair of Easts or whites that they can pawn. Taka, trying to prove me wrong, draws the 2nd East, is now able to pawn those for Mangan, East Dora 3, guaranteed. But we shall see. Acton is putting together some shapes quick and dirty. Dropping the 1 and the 3, keeping the double-sided 4-7, 4-7 in the dots, and then they're ready to go. Ishan 10 for Acton, our dealer. Horse Games has not found their red dragons yet. Has a lot of pairs in their hand. Might be going for a 7 pairs, but we shall see. Taka, still working. Got a 2-3 pair of 9s, 4-5-6, 2-4. They really want these East to be their pair, so I'd like to see them drop either of the 9s. But we shall see. Nihongo Jozu, forcing a half flush as brutally as they can. Horse Games finds the 7 pairs, waits on the 8. No Ricci needed because this hand is scary enough on its own. I know characters does come out. They took my advice. All the 8s though are currently in Nihongo Jozu's hand. Will they come out? It does not appear to be likely as they form a good pair to take over once the whites get pwned. They also have the 2s though, so they'll have to decide between one or the other. And if they make the wrong decision, they might get hit. Acton, playing around with their tiles, has not found any success yet. Decided to drop their pair of 1s, thinking they're gonna find a pair in the 5-6s, 5s and 6s instead, dropping the 7. It's not wrong, and it does open them up for Tanyao. So maybe they're thinking they're gonna try and steal the hand before anything nasty happens. Horse Games has not found a single 8 yet, which is not surprising. Nihongo Jozu has finished discarding everything that is not a bamboo or an honor tile. Taka gets to pwn their East, which means Nihongo can now drop their East and their green safely. What was the green about? Was that a misclick? What on earth? How? What? This dude's insane. Or he's got such a good read of the board that he could tell they were safe. Oh, okay, I guess they're out there. Green here, green here. It's not that crazy. Definitely the East should have gone first, though. Anyways, Acton has not found Tenpai. Horse Games has drawn the 3, which is dangerous. Do they sense it? Do they know? They do. They swap the 8. They keep the 3 safe. Taka Tenpai on that 3 would have been a nasty Mangan if they had dealt in. 6 cents from Horse Games. This man has played a lot of Mahjong, I can tell. And now I get to see the mind of a killer. Horse Games. A lot of pairs, but those are actually just really good shapes. Inside weight on the 7, giving them the Apeco. Pair of 9s to take over. And it's very easy to convert this into a 7 pairs hand. Lose the Apeco, but 7 pairs is pretty strong anyways. Taka has good shapes, good pairs. We'll see what they do with it. Lots of Dora as well. Shiny tiles all the way up and down. Nihongo Jozu has some okay shapes. Whoa, Horse Games find Ricci on the 4th tile of the game. Passes it up. They're not quite ready to go Ricci on a 7 pairs hand. And if they do draw something like that. Ooh! Discarding the Suanko, going for that Chitoitsu. An interesting idea. I know I would have gotten greedy with it. But they are a dealer, they're already Tenpai. Just take their own, keep the streak going. You should have gone Ricci. I don't know when you would have though. If you didn't swap to the south, like what were you waiting for? Like an off-wind pair weight is kind of like the ideal hand for Chitoitsu. If you weren't gonna drop the 7 going for the south, then what were you thinking would improve your hand there? Did you want to wait until you had a 4 bamboo to set up the Suji trap? How long would that have taken? You'd have just as much luck of drawing the 7 yourself. And in which case you'd still want to be Ricci for it. Anyways, we're getting caught up again. Horse Games finds himself in a similar position where we've got a pair of souths and some really good shapes. Taka has one good block, three good blocks, I would say. Nihongo Jozu has almost a complete hand over here. They're working quickly. Got a pair in the 7s, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9, 2, 3, 3. Only a couple of tiles to go for this cat girl. Acton to the left, who had a strong start and then has since fallen off. Through no fault of their own, I don't think. I think they played a pretty good game. Has open on a Tanyao hand. Just needs to drop that bird. And they're looking pretty good. You got a 2-5. Probably want to make these 3s the pair. Not very likely you're going to chi a 4 from the left anymore. Moving towards a double-sided pair weight. Because a 1 would make them for a 10. Horse games. Ain't going to steal that 9. They don't need it. And they couldn't use it if they did. But pretty far away, unfortunately. They've got too many pairs, so none of these blocks are really coming together. The 4 looks good, but it doesn't help anything really. But they've started to break their pairs apart. We now have a couple of good shapes and only a couple of pairs. This is starting to look good. Taka with a 3-sided 1-4-7 weight on these bamboo has found literally nothing. Acton has found Tenpai, but they can't win off of the 1. They need the 4 of dots. The 1 comes out. A 4 would be temporarily Furitan, but it does not occur. Taka has the 4, and it's the second to last 4. There's one more left in the wall. Taka is unlikely to drop this 4 as it makes a pretty good shape in their hand. Uh-oh. If they keep these pairs though, they're gonna run into trouble. Maybe with all the dots on the board they think the 4 is safe, but it is not. Nihongo Jozu, by the way, has found Tenpai for their full flush Shinitsu. They are looking for the 6 for 1. The 6 gets held by Taka. Sensing the danger, they keep that safe in their hand. East comes out from horse games, which is kind of a safe move. The East just came out beforehand. There was no danger there. Is it 6s and 9s for Nihongo here? Why is it 6? Am I crazy? Now it's 7s and 4s. 1 7s and 4s. Alright, that's a pretty good hand. But I think the 1s and 4s are dead. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 1s are gone. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 1 4 and it's in this hand that's being used pretty well. 1, 2, 3. There's one more 7 in the wall. What a goofy game. By the way, Taka also drew the 4 of dots and held it. Taka can see the future with these weights that he's dodging. And wow, what a start. Double south, double green, double red. Had 4 dots and started to throw them away, thinking that their other shapes are probably better. I would not imagine a pwn. Yes, of course. The 8 comes out, double-sided with a pair of 2s, looking pretty good. Nihongo Jozu almost matching though, pair of Easts. Pair of 9s, a 1, 3, 7. This is a half flush if ever I saw one. Their honors are not in good shape though, as opposed to Taka, who had everything paired already. Acton should have a pretty good hand with all these honors already being pulled out of the wall. 3, 5, 2, 3, 2, 2, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9. So they have a 5, 8, pair of 2s, double-sided inside weights. Very good, very good. Horse games, our champion. 1, 2, 5, 5, 6, 7, 4s. 1, 3, 4, 4. Again, very efficient shapes with all these honors already being pulled out of the wall. But Taka is not to be outdone. They are gonna pwn these reds when they come out. And what will they break? They break the 2s. This is the wrong idea. Because now if they steal the souths, they don't have a pair anymore. And I think they're about to realize that. Maybe they're thinking they don't need the souths. The souths technically don't add any value as an extra pawn. So they have a 4-sided wait for Tempai. They can drop the 7 now, and they are now Tempai on 4s and 7s and bamboo for reds, greens, and nothing else. Horse Game's unlikely to drop the 4. Here comes the 1, and that's the wrong tile. Ricci Ipatsu. Takada Baka played so well, but got greedy with these dragons, which is just too Han, really. If they had kept all these dots, they might have been able to make something better. But they went for a fast hand rather than an expensive hand. And they paid for it. Blinded by greed and speed. Anyways, Horse Games got second place. Good job to them. I think your name is very silly. Well done. And that's going to be it for this episode. If you enjoyed, please click the like and subscribe button. It really helps small channels like this one grow and reach a wider audience. If you think Horse Games is a silly idea, or if you have a better name than Horse Games, go ahead and write it down below in the comments. And I hope you have a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening. Goodbye.